welcome back to the fourth quarter of the Bobby Dupre Show, along with my sidekick, Mr.
Good morning.
Andrew.
Good morning. And boy, I'm jumping. I want to get all my sponsors. You know, I'll try to get them all in. Let's go to Piggly Wiggly if you're trying to get some groceries. The pig knows
that
best.
weather is nice for barbecuing.
Oh, man. And I mowed my grass last weekend and sat outside for a while on the deck and just chilled with that little old smoky percolating. And I like to put them pork steaks on. If you're going to go to the pig, get the pig to put out there. And don't forget about them for your roast inside. It's Lent time. A lot of people cooking seafood on Fridays. They got all kind of good fish and shrimp and all that good stuff there as well. All your vegetables, all your fresh fruit. And don't forget about them. Kind of a little hardware store too. I know people pick up deer feed when it's deer season, you know, to put all that out near your deer stand. You know, maybe put that out of season too. You know, I don't know how them rules work. You guys kind of know that do all that with your feeder.
Yeah.
But then you got pots over there. You can buy all kind of good pots and burners. They've got all that at Piggly Wiggly as well. They got the deli on the south side, including catering. Go by Piggly Wiggly. And one more. How about Quarters Casino? Go north of Opelousas to Quarters Casino. Try El Pico de Gallo, their authentic Mexican restaurant and cantina. Excellent, excellent food. You can also go next door and try your luck in the gaming side. You can go in the convenience store and you can get Subway sandwiches and crispy, crunchy chicken. And they got those nice Brothers Pizza that they got there as well. You can grab for the road when you're heading to Natchez to one of your various camps over there, or you can pick up all the cold drinks and the harder drinks there. They got all that as well. They got Stuckey's candy if you like old-timey Stuckey's. Man, I went there the other day. They got that.
That's where I pick up my diesel when I'm going over to Winfield and the Dooley.
They had that rock candy with the wooden stick. You know what I'm talking about? That old-timey stuff and the pralines even. Go by the Quarters Casino and Travel Plaza.
One other little story about my visit to the Holy Family Catholic Church there Sunday morning. Yes. They have an 8 o'clock mass there. Right. And Father Fallon, who was in Brobridge for a number of years, I mentioned to him that Mr. Johnny Raymond had died. I figured he would know Mr. Johnny. As soon as he had a little opportunity, he came back and visited with me. He says, I hated to hear what you had to say about Mr. Johnny Raymond. He says, anytime we called on him for any kind of help around Brobridge at the church over there, you could count on Mr. Johnny and Miss Courtney.
Church or military, the man was the first man in line. And then what our little project with Father LaFleur around St. Landry Church, he was in the middle of all that because it was the best of both worlds.
And if it was boxing, he was for that. In other words, he was for
taking care of the community.
Taking care of the community, taking care. It's just a shame we lost him. Just, you know, he still had some big projects underway, and I'm sure Miss Courtney and Ricky and the group will carry through on those projects. And anyhow, I thought I had to mention that Father has, you know, left there, and you could tell it shook him up when, you know, he came back
down there,
when he came back and talked to me personally. You know, just he had a lot of people when I first mentioned I was walking out. He came outside when I was taking the pictures that I showed, and anyhow, it says a lot about my dear friend, Mr. Johnny Raymond,
the Ranger. I want to be an airborne Ranger. I was singing that the other day. You're like, what is that song? I said, that was the Rangers. All right, we got coming up, don't forget, for the Lighthouse Mission charity golf tournament. It's going to be going on over at the Indian Hills Country Club. You can contact Mike Fontenot or Johnny Carrier, 351-7851, all to help the Lighthouse Mission Men's Homeless Shelter. And remember, what's going on there is these are men that are trying to get that next, you know, they took that time off. Something went bad in their lives. They had to unplug a while to get resettled in their lives. And what the Lighthouse Mission does is get these guys back on track. But if you want to participate in a golf tournament, call those guys, give them a holler. It's going to be at the Indian Hills Country Club, May the 12th. 2 flights, 8 a.m. and 1 p.m. $300 per team. They want you to help or just sponsor something.
What's the date of that?
May the 12th.
May the 12th. Well, on Thursday, April the 24th, in just 3 weeks from now, the Earl Taylor Annual Classic will be, it's the 10th annual. Looks like yesterday he started this, and of course part of it goes to his campaign and part of it goes to his charity work that he and his staff and his wife and family participate in parish-wide.
And you've got a nice turnout there at the Indian Hills Country Club. And of course, they're so kind to us with our work with the Cerebral Palsy Clinic at the Country Club. So good people. Slimco, talking about getting things Slimco Scholarship is coming up again. Don't forget about it. You got to get your application in by May the 8th. Thursday, May the 8th at 4:30 p.m. at Slimco. Go to slimco.com to get the form. If you get your electricity bill, you've gotten one. I know we get the little bill for 3 Mile Lake for the light over the launch, and every month when I get it, I get another scholarship application in. I guess they're trying to coax me to maybe go back to school. Maybe that's what I need to do. But you can get it. You can also give a call to Miss Mary Laurent over there, 896-2520. They're going to give 20 scholarships away. It's a good deal.
Last week we showed you a picture of a young lady that works with the Advocate, the Acadiana Advocate edition, Miss Patricia Gannon, and that big smile that you see here, and she did a real nice article on different people that were participating in the Golden Glove tournament that was held last weekend.
And some of the spectators as well, like is that Jean Bergeau and Bobby Dupree?
And Bobby Dupree. I want to thank Patricia for the nice picture that you used here. And your friend saw it. Marcus Guitro from CPS sent a copy of it. I mean, yeah,
as we said,
just in case we hadn't seen it. Well,
absolutely.
To be honest with you, on Wednesday mornings, it's
a rush sometimes.
I don't look at the picture as carefully as. Well, Vicky found this now. I gotta be honest.
She recognized you?
She recognized me, and Jean is from the Cancton area, boxed in the military, and was a heck of a boxer, right? Won Golden Gloves championship one year, state champion, and his full brother, but used another family name because the family got split up, and was Bobby Hebert from Opelousas. We told you that story, not the Bobby Hebert, the football player.
Guy.
Bobby Hebert, a fun guy, and he had a fish market and
worked hard for parish government. That was his last hard work.
Right, and he and Adler Du were like that, inseparable. He was the king. And that's what King's Truck Stop is named after.
Absolutely.
Adler was going to be a member of the company that had opened King's Truck Stop as a casino truck stop. And he didn't go into the last name, but they kept the name, King's. And it's still up there. So, Patricia, thank you so much. I like the articles. The other half of the page was Couson bids for a seat. She covers a little politicals. I mean, she is everywhere all of the time. That newspaper edition is gaining quick growth in Acadiana area. That's the Advocate Acadiana.
Yep.
Lake Dubuisson boat launch is now open. Please be careful. If you're drinking, make sure that the driver of that boat is not drinking, because they will ticket you just as though you were on the highway when you're in a boat.
And all the penalties are the same. I mean, it's going to mess up your car license, everything.
Yes, sir. So go out, have fun, and we want to remind everybody that the dues are now
it's that time, renewal.
It's that time, renewal. They need to be renewed. They're $100.
$100, P.O. Box 70 in Opelousas, Louisiana. You can send it there.
3 Mile Lake Association.
3 Mile Lake Association. You'll get your new key. We're going to put the new chain out on April the 15th at the public launch. You'll notice the nice lights. You notice the grass is well taken care of and weeded and ants killed. And
we're going to be
some
in
new limestone.
Yeah, and as soon as we fixed that road to get there, we spent a few $100s on that. And I might add that pretty soon, as soon as it gets warm, we'll be spraying for the lily control.
Absolutely.
That's our biggest cost each year, is the lily control process.
The water hyacinths.
What about the repairs underway on the gas line? You pass there all the time.
I certainly do, and I monitor that very closely.
Still not quite finished yet?
Not quite, but I think they've changed the line out. What they got to end up doing, wherever it spills, they got to take that dirt and burn that dirt. I don't know what they do exactly, but they bring that dirt somewhere.
Yeah, and bring in some fresh dirt.
And I think it's the second time they've had this. It's basically a feeder line. Whatever the feeder lines were done there must have been an issue, because it's the second time in the last 5 or 6 years they've had some sort of feeder line
And that's a
issue
Tobacco
there.
Plus. And boy, they do a great business.
Yeah.
They're good
It's not a
corporate
huge leak, but what happens is if it
neighbors.
leaks long enough, then you realize it takes a long time for you to figure it out. But they dug it up and fixed it. So
What
there
about
you
the
go.
Cajuns?
Cajun baseball? They after it,
Crushed
brother.
Green Wave, 16
right.
to nothing Tuesday night. They for real. They dropped down from 1 to 2. They lost the game, but they came right back and beat the same team.
It's early in the year. You got time.
So anyhow, they having fun and they're doing and they're learning, they're practicing, and out of gas from Monroe all the way to possibly Baton Rouge. Gas services might be cut off within the next couple of months. Can you imagine the businesses that are going to be affected? And like my heating system over at Natchez is with Atmos Gas.
Really?
And Atmos Gas owns a good bit of this line here, but they don't own the line. They buy gas off of this big line. The line was built in 1926, and they said it's getting dangerously dangerous.
So they might just abandoning it, and then
Yeah,
there's
just
no idea to
abandon it.
replace it.
Well, no, the cost.
Well, we had the little leak with the gas recently right there on the Washington Road. You remember over off of, I forget the little lane back there, Pavy Lane is what it's called, I guess.
Right.
And I wondered what it was, like a substation that's there. Well, then I ran to Don Stanford on Friday morning. Don says, I don't have gas at my house. My gas is off. So that's, those big old pipelines that they run all over the state, still they spit out little bits here and there to provide for towns and small communities. So,
but can you imagine that's all the way from Monroe, Louisiana down and through Vidalia and Woodville and all that, St. Francisville. I mean,
and then you got the price of natural gas has gone down. So you got to hope that somebody thinks it's cost effective enough.
They
to get
might
into
have
it.
some other lines that they'll be able to
Somebody
tie
else
in.
might,
Let's
yeah.
hope so. Let's hope so.
I'm
It
sure
doesn't
somebody.
affect me that much,
When
but
there's
boy,
money
it
involved,
affects.
somebody will step up to the plate, right? That's what you always.
That's what I've always said.
Nature of America.
And the wild hogs, remember we talked about the
Yeah.
wild hogs, the problem they're getting. That was the front page of Sunday's The Democrat, which is the Natchez newspaper.
Correct.
They taking aim, and they're just.
They're messing up subdivisions. They're messing up everything. It's not just.
And what about the cost of corn and everything that they're destroying? They go into a field.
They eat everything.
And they eat everything.
Oh,
they
yeah.
just pass right on through like the locusts used to do to when
And
they had those
it
big
don't help
locusts.
you deer. It don't help you squirrels. Because they all competing.
That's right. So anyhow,
We're down to a minute left.
we're a minute left.
You may want to find that prayer book. I think
Yeah,
we're getting
well,
down
let's.
to the end.
I thought this was something. I read the obituaries in the Morning Advocate, and this young lady who died, Gertie Dupre Cornelius, and her maiden name was Gertie Dupre, and she married a gentleman by the last name of Cornelius.
And your dad was
Cornelius Dupre. So I thought that was kind of interesting and noteworthy of mentioning here. And
What else I saw this week? 108th anniversary this week of the first Mass at St. Landry Church. 108 years since the Big Red Church was there. How's that? That's a pretty good deal.
we talked about that last week. And what about the big race, the $1 million race, Rose Napavlik and Vikers in Trouble? And Vikers in Trouble is a Louisiana bred, and
Yes, sir.
they're giving me a warning, and
Yeah,
we
it's that
want to
time.
remind you and ask you to consider attending the church of your choice. Andrew and I both ask you to do that. Consider, and the church of your choice. And then a little prayer. God of holiness, grant that I may always live for your glory and thus attain my salvation. Thanks for viewing. Thanks for listening. Thanks, Andrew.
Thank you, Chief.